Baturdays, Baturdays. Omnidog is the minister of comics. Talk forever, get right your ergonomics. Taking questions from the chat. With a name like that, you think they talk more about the past. Baturdays, Baturdays, Baturdays. In the BatCave.
Heyo, welcome to Baturdays in the BatCave. I'm Omnidog with the Minister of Comics, whom I haven't seen in like a month.
I somehow jumped on the show right in time before it started.
You didn't need to tell anybody that.
Well, I just wanted to draw attention to how smooth it was, and so that way it looks jarring now.
Yeah, so now it's absolutely perfect.
I forgot my headphones. I'll be right back. Okay.
Okay, because I'm going to talk to the Cycle Cleveland about stuff.
All right.
Minister will be right back. And before I even started the show, Cycle is talking in the chat. So Cycle dominates everything. Yeah, the minister said so. So we're going to ask him when he comes back. Official Scott Stapp. Oh, Kenny's here. Yeah, Jake, more live stream shenanigans. Maybe, I don't know. This is a special Sunday edition of Baturdays. I wasn't feeling well yesterday. I'm not actually feeling that much better today, but I'm feeling well enough to get out of bed. So that counts. I want to know more about this indie comic called Hospital Drama Show. This needs to be in the box that you send me, Cycle. Jake and I are concerned that goiter doesn't exist. The story is a fantastical meeting of multiple narratives that aren't confined by any reality. Okay, I didn't understand any of that. James can't find it digitally. That's goiter. Brave and Boys Hospital Drama Show. Oh, it's at Atomic Books. Oh, okay. Mr. Awesome's here, who filled the community tab with suggestions for book club. Thank you. Okay, this sounds awesome to me. This is a book, Taylor, called Hospital Drama Show that Cycle's reading. Takes place almost as much in a hospital as it does between dimensions and features characters such as a robot AI doctor, an inflatable balloon man doctor who is literally an inflatable balloon, a dude called Poison Boy who destroys everything he touches until he learns to control his power. Okay, wait. And this is what sold me on it. A surgeon who smuggles a gun into the hospital inside a hitman he sets up to be a patient, operates on, then makes to carry out the hit on the inflatable balloon surgeon. Is this a book you would read, Taylor, or is this more my speed than your speed?
Sounds like a neo-noir soap opera of sorts.
And isn't that kind of what you and I really love?
What's that show? Was that show General Hospital? Is that what it's called? I never watched soap operas, but I know there's one that exists that's about a hospital.
Right. That was big when I was in college because there was a gal on there that was really popular, Jeannie somebody. She was like the it girl of television. And of course, my favorite person in the world right now is Ming Na. And where did she get her start?
No idea.
As the World Turns.
Oh, that's my mom and my grandma's show before it ended. I think it ended, didn't it?
Well, it could have, but not before Ming Na got her start in there. And she's the voice of my favorite Disney animated cartoon ever, which is Mulan.
Oh, okay.
So she's awesome. I just got for like $7 Fennec Shand Star Wars figure. mostly
Okay.
because it has her picture on the side. It kind of looks like her.
Yeah, Star Wars doesn't have the best track record for figure faces. That's why the ones I have, Sam's been messing up with all my toys. Wait, okay.
Uh-oh,
So,
Bat Sam.
Yeah, like Kate, my wife lets him in, lets him mess with stuff. So I have Darth Vader, I have Boba Fett, I have Mando somewhere, and
Yeah,
Darth Maul. Darth Maul looks pretty good because it's like not like a regular face because it's like painted. Like it's not like so that looks pretty good. But otherwise, their faces aren't great.
I saw a comic, and now I can't remember who I saw it with, but Darth Maul was on the cover, and all his horns were grown out. I didn't even know those. I just thought they were like bony structures, but like all his horns had grown out. And I'm not the biggest Darth Maul fan, meaning I actually don't even care for him. But if I could get a figure of him with like all those bone growths growing out of his head, like antlers, there were like 9 of them. It looked pretty boss.
If you watched the Clone Wars and Rebels, you would like Darth Maul a lot more because they really draw out his character more.
Is this when he has spider legs or
then he gets the regular legs back, but it's a lot better because in the movie, in the Phantom Menace, he's just like a almost silent character who just looks really cool, but they really draw him out a lot more in the TV shows. Which is true for Anakin because Anakin's turn in Revenge of the Sith's like really sudden and jarring, but whenever you watch the Clone Wars, it seems a lot more fluid. It seems a lot more. You can see different turns he's making. So Dave Filoni kind of helps smooth out some of the road bumps on the on the prequel trilogy because I think there's a lot of good stuff in the prequel trilogy, a lot of cool story items like Order 66. I think is really cool, and seeing that explored more about the Jedi being massacred is cool. Like in the Fallen Order Jedi series, that video game series, and some other stuff. But
which I have in my pile from 2018.
I think the biggest problem with the prequel trilogy is the dialogue was just horrible, and the acting, besides like Ewan McGregor, was really bad. But I think the storyline itself was interesting for the most part.
I think you hit on it when you said how quickly Anakin turned. That's what turned me off the most. It's like he got talked into it sitting next to what's his name, the Emperor, Palpatine. It's like he just got talked into it. How do we get on the prequels? Oh, we started on Darth Maul.
And then, it's such a jarring term because he does the worst thing you could possibly do, which is murder children, and that's like a big jump, right? That's a big jump
from just falling in love to I'll just kill all the yearlings or whatever.
Younglings,
yeah.
I like that meme where it's like, at the end of Return of the Jedi where he's a Force ghost with Yoda and you see all the youngling ghosts like, what the crap? What's going on? Like, how is he a Force ghost?
I haven't seen that meme with the youngling ghost.
It's funny. Like what the heck's going on?
Here's Bunkmaster, whom I just had on almost 3-hour chat with. See, that's my problem is I start a sentence and then I look in the chat, and that's how I ended up calling Batman a racist last Sunday or Saturday, because somebody said something about Batman, and then I looked in the chat and it said, unfortunately, Winston Churchill was racist. And I go, blubbity, blubbity. And the comment was, why is Batman so angry? And I read it as, why is Batman so racist? And I feel like James Abel probably has that clipped somewhere, although he sent me a bunch of clips of myself looking ridiculous, which is fine with me.
I think I saw that Bleeding Cool article about your statement.
That would be awesome. They get everything so wrong and they get this one thing right.
They reached out for a comment and I didn't know what they were talking about.
Super Laughard, our buddy from Scotland. Today I read a bunch of Batman, Robin, Catwoman comics from 1994. Whoa, my chronological read-through of all things Batman has been good thus far. Are you telling me you started out at like 1940 or whenever that started and you've read 54 years of Batman? That's remarkable. That is remarkable. Please affirm in the 20 minutes it takes me to get to your answer. Oh, this is back to Drama Surgeon Hospital. Somehow it works, and the heart of the story is a couple working in a fast food joint that end up in the ER. I actually want to read this comic. So Cycle's going to send me a bunch of independent comics, and then I'm going to unbox them live with Patty so she can see what goiter is about and Surgeon Drama Hospital and everything else. So I'm waiting, Cycle. You have my address. Oh, and this one is addressed to you.
I'm not sure. Who's the crankier
it's Statler, one? Waldorf and Statler.
I don't know who's the crankier one. Are they both equally cranky?
I should be the crankier one.
That's why I was asking.
Yeah, I'm whichever one is the crankier one, that's me. Because
I'm one of them, the one without the mustache looks angrier. So that's probably you.
Okay, I think that's Statler. I think it goes Waldorf and Statler.
Then I put our heads in the right ones then.
I did, yeah.
Without even thinking about it.
That was a good thumbnail, and I'm glad somebody, Mr. Awesome, picked up on it. Here's a good question. You put unfiltered and had me word ballooning swear words from comic strips. So,
well, there's a reason why I put Jess as the one swearing, because it's more likely that he will.
Okay, wait. Let me look at that thumbnail again. Unfiltered comic chat with Omnidog and the Minister.
And you have the box above your head.
I have the box, but it seems to include you when you say the title.
Oh, I don't know. It's the clickbait title.
Okay, good.
You're all here. You're all here, so it worked.
Happy Sunday. Thank you. Oh, here's Steven Johnson. Haven't caught a Just Stream Live in a minute. Glad to be here. Oh, he's got a cat with eyes from hell, which is appropriate. Wait. Okay, good question. Oh, here's Beyond Comics. What up, Beyond? Darkwave Fairies here. Nice to have you. Paused my watch back of the Bunk stream to oh, thank you. Yeah. Bunk was hilarious, and it was great to have him. Baturdays on a Sunday. What is this magic? Yeah, I was actually very happy that you suggested this. I wasn't thinking that you would have your Sunday evenings open, and then I remembered it wasn't 1965 and Ed Sullivan wasn't on must-watch TV. So Sazmurph is here. Well, I guess I'm supposed to be unfiltered, which I feel like I kind of am. I don't swear on these because I'm worried that there could be kids. I swear on Omnibros. That's where it all started. My filthy mouth, because all those guys swear on Omnibros, and IST just doesn't seem to care. Speaking of people who might care, there's organic price books with their code Omnidog. $2 off, 5% off shipping, 3 or more books together. Or Omnidog together. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. Now, wait, I did have a question. Oh, there's Warren Weaver. How you doing, buddy? Are you familiar with the group Paramore?
Am I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never was super into them, but I remember they were popular when I was like in high school, middle school age.
Yeah, okay. That's yeah, you and my daughter are about the same age. She sent me a clip of them because some congressman got on stage with them in Florida. But the lead singer looks like Black Canary.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was like, I sent Kelly a picture of Black Canary. She's like, OMG, you're exactly right. It looks like this woman. So they've got Black Canary as their lead singer, which I thought is boss. Hello, Denver. Good to have you. Is this going to hurt my eyes? I don't know. I feel like it was just clickbait.
Well, what maybe smoking filtered or unfiltered, right?
My dad used to smoke unfiltered Lucky Strikes.
I don't really know the difference. I never really looked into it.
Oh, boy. That means there were no filters, and he sucked in everything bad for you, and that is why I lost him when I was very young because of cigarettes. Although I don't think filtered cigarettes would have helped him.
Do they even have unfiltered anymore? I don't even know.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I think
I've never smoked a cigarette in my entire life, so I have no idea what's going on there.
Yeah, they were unfiltered. And that's, you know what book you would enjoy, unless you've already read it, The Twilight Man, about Rod Serling?
I don't know if I've heard it. Maybe you've told me about it. I can't remember.
It's on Hoopla.
Okay, I'll have to check it then.
Really, really good. And that's what killed him at 50 was unfiltered cigarettes. 50? You're like, wait, no, I'm closer to 50 than you are, but I'm on the wrong side of 50. You're what, 18 years away from 50?
Almost 17.
So, okay.
I'll be 33 this year.
Okay. Congratulations.
I'm getting older.
I normally watch the VODs. Was that video on demand?
Oh, I didn't know we were making money off of this. People are paying to watch it.
Of these streams at 1.5 speed. I'm not used to Jess's real voice instead of the sped up version.
You sound like a chip. Yeah, everyone sounded like a chipmunk back in you rewound back in the day.
Right. It means we're getting the Dark Minister tonight. I do love Dark Minister appearances.
I am trying to be like Tyler right now with the Dr. Pepper.
Oh, nice. Sounds like the sequel to Airplane no one asked for. There's Josh Griethus, whose book I'm going to read this week and review it, along with some other indie comics. I'm going to make it an indie comic review, or maybe I'll just dedicate it to Josh.
Well, there was a sequel to Airplane, and it wasn't too great.
Right. I never watched it, and I never watched the sequel to Caddyshack or Arthur. Those were two sequels nobody asked for. Same with Airplane. What's another classic? Oh, thank goodness they never made a sequel to Animal House. Unless they did,
actually
I don't know.
I follow Max Allan Collins' blog. He's like he's a really great author. He writes comics and he writes novels, and he was writing his most recent blog that everyone who hasn't given The Two Jakes a chance should watch it, because a lot of times people wouldn't watch The Two Jakes, which is a sequel to Chinatown, because they thought, oh, there's no way it'll be as good. He's like, it's not as good, but it's still a really good movie on its own right. So I started watching it today. It's actually really good so far. Not as good as Chinatown, but it's still actually pretty good so far.
Is that the one Jack Nicholson directed?
Right, and Harvey Keitel plays his client, who's also named Jake, hence the title, The Two Jakes. And it's kind of tied into the original movie a little bit. So I haven't finished it yet, but so far it's been decent. But the first one was a classic, so
yeah.
But it's good. So I think that was the thing where you make a sequel to a classic. If it's not going to be a classic, then people aren't going to be turning against it. But it can still be a good movie.
Right. And Mr. Awesome with Jeannie Francis, right? CBS viewer growing up. Okay, good. Children's Hospital. Oh, he's talking to The Brave and the Boys. Children's Hospital was also a great Adult Swim show.
I do remember that. That was like a long time ago, 15 years ago.
As the World Turns last aired in 2010.
I remember my mom and my grandma were very upset that their stories were ended. As people who watch soap operas call them, apparently. Their stories,
right.
But there's no way you can watch every single one, right? There's no way. Unless you're just staying at home, unless you don't work at all or have anything to do, it's kind of a hard thing to watch. It's 5 hours a week, right? I mean, there's 5 episodes.
And those were those were hour long.
Right. Including commercials, but still.
For a while, we had Days of Our Lives on when I was still living at home after college. And my mom, who was actually pretty busy, always made time in her day to have that on. So I don't know.
But does it really matter to watch all of them, though? I feel like it's the kind of show where it's like, whatever. Do you have to watch all of them? Everyone's come back to life. Everybody's having an affair. Nobody really dies. I feel like there's nothing really to miss.
I feel like those nighttime soaps like Falcon Crest and that really popular one, Dynasty, I feel like stuff happened all the time in there, except for Dallas when they pulled that weird Bobby's death was a whole dream. Did you know about that?
I remember the Who Shot JR. That was the big thing.
Yeah. And And then they pulled this really weird thing, and I don't think they were ever able to come back about it because I can't remember who played Bobby, and I'm sure somebody in the chat will tell us, but we'll get the comics in a sec.
Oh, wait, was Bobby the guy who was the dad in what's that? Step by Step? Oh, what's his name? He has like the curlyish dark hair. He's like what's that guy's name?
He was in a show I remember. Yeah.
With Suzanne Summers was Patrick Duffy. That's what it was. Yes.
Whoa, good, Paul.
Well, Mr. Awesome put Patrick. I remember Duffy off of that.
Nice.
He was married to Suzanne Summers in Step by Step because that was a sitcom I watched back in the 90s on TGIF.
Okay.
I do remember that one.
That's what I remember also. But they went a whole season with Bobby dead. And there was all kinds of stuff happening, blah, 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 whole season. And then the woman who was married to Bobby wakes up and he's in the shower and it was all a dream of hers. And I don't think they ever came back from that. Everybody was like, you must be kidding me. This is the lamest thing ever.
It was like the bad version of the Bob Newhart show ending where he wakes up and it's like, oh.
That was so great with Suzanne Plachette.
But back then, were people happy with it? But
yeah.
Okay. It was hard to tell back then, probably, right? Because there was no internet. So how did people share their opinions?
Newspapers.
Okay.
Yeah. And that was 100% well received and hilarious and unexpected. And I thought it was great because
life had to be somewhat better back then to enjoy entertainment in some ways. Now you can find people who have similar interests, but at least if you like something, you didn't have to constantly hear people hating it. Back then, you could just enjoy it and not worry about it too much.
Well, there's that. The good thing is that all of my friends are internet friends, which is true because you and I are friends and all the other friends, and I've met them in real life, and I met you in real life and your wife and Sam at the time. So everything has that part of the internet is great. I know what you're saying about hating on stuff, but also spoilers. There was nobody to spoil Empire Strikes Back for me. I was genuinely shocked 3 years later when it turns out that Darth Vader's actually Leia's mom. So I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
Good evening, Roguish type. I missed the impromptu stream earlier. Didn't see the notification till hours later. Wasn't impromptu. I did put a notice up in my community tab, so it means YouTube failed you twice. That blows. And it was fully Cleveland centric, so it's true. Elon, where are you from? I forget where you're from. Are you from? Wait, no, I'm not even gonna guess because it'll insult you. I was watching Super Lab Hard. I was watching season 2 of Rebels earlier. It's good stuff.
Definitely gets better as it goes along, for sure.
I need live cycle energy. Yeah, he was all over the chat, and Bunkmaster's from Cleveland, so it was all about Cleveland.
Cycle must have taken his Xanax because he's not writing in capital letters anymore.
Right. It's past 8 o'clock, so maybe he's calmed down a little. Loving the Knights of the Old Republic omnibus. Do I have that one? No, I have the Old Republic. Is that the one you're talking about? Axel saying hello.
Oh, Jess, did you hear that? I saw on Omar's channel that they announced a Kieran Gillen and Greg Pak Star Wars omnibus. That'll be good.
That will be good.
That's been a long time coming. They never even did hardcovers of that.
No, I have all the trades still, and I will gladly upgrade that.
Well, I won't be mad about Dr. Aphra because they didn't make a hardcovers of these things. So at least I can just get the omnibus.
Here's something you can be mad about.
All right.
They've already announced the omnibus this morning of the Chip Zdarsky Daredevil.
Oh, I'm not mad about that because
you're gonna be mad when they pull a Spider-Gwen on us and don't release Volume 5 an oversized hardcover and give us fakakta trades instead, like they did with Spider-Gwen, which is what I'm worried about.
I don't know. I'm sure they will though, because they want to continue making money. I feel like it's still like a money maker for them. They still have people who want the deluxes. So I'm gonna have faith they'll put it out.
Okay, wait. You're gonna have faith. The minister is going to have faith. So I am greatly relieved
because there's 3 right now, and the 4th one comes out in July. There's only one more after that, so I'm hoping they'll just do it. Hopefully.
Okay. You have faith though.
But typically they finish those. Typically, not always, but for the most part they do.
Well, they jammed us up on Dr. Aphra and Spider-Gwen. I know you're still bitter over Dr. Aphra.
I just bought the trade because I refused to buy the omnibus. I'm not doing that.
You could say that. I'm not. Well, it's unfiltered. Yeah. Go ahead and clip it. I'm asking for an extra horny Darth Maul figure. There you go. General Grievous was amazing in the OG Clone Wars. Those are amazing. How you handsome devils doing from our buddy Hayden? How are you doing? Wait, what? The Gennady?
That way you spell it is Genndy Tartakovsky. He's the one who did Samurai Jack, Dexter's Laboratory, Powerpuff Girls. And he also did a Clone Wars cartoon that's out of canon before the Clone Wars new cartoon. So it's like in his style. This is before they had the actual Clone Wars television show by Dave Filoni. So they're totally separate things, even though they have the same title.
And was this good? Because
yeah, it was really good. It's really short. It was like 5-minute episodes they put together, so you can watch it all. It's really good. I mean, if you like Samurai Jack, you'll definitely like that show.
Okay.
Samurai Jack is it's one of the best animated series of all time, especially the final season, which was on Adult Swim, so it was a little bit more R-rated. It was really cool.
Larry's here. Never forget that racist Batman. Okay, good. Haven't all Robins been white? Where did that come from? Racist Batman? Well, yeah, you could make that case.
Yeah, I guess Duke Thomas is technically not Robin, so.
Yeah, he's Batman, Signal. Right? He's like
Signal.
Signal, and then Jason Fox is the next Batman.
Right.
I have so much to catch up on. Calling it a masterpiece. Okay. I like when Bleeding Cool calls very fine condition near mint comics. That's not me. I don't know who you're talking about. Oh, I uploaded it's Racist Batman gift to your folder. I have a whole folder now of gifts of me. I forgot about that one, James said. The worst part, Lars still up from Norway. The worst part of episode 1 through 3, when Anakin slaughtered the desert people, and Natalie Portman says, okay, and let's go to bed. Oh, no, I started around number 253 of Batman. Okay. Oh, I want you to send me a copy of it still, Cycle. Those independent comics, Patty and I are unboxing it live. I really want to warn Jess about the content. No, I want Patty to be offended. Derek's back again. Thank you, buddy. Isn't Waldorf the one with the rounder head? Is he the one with the mustache?
I think that his head is rounder.
Yeah. Did you ever see that SNL skit? Have we talked about that when they're doing a SNL, like Lily Tomlin hosts the Muppet Show, and Statler and Waldorf are up there popping off, and Kenan Thompson and Peele from
Key and Peele,
are the bouncers, and they start yapping up to Statler and Waldorf to shut the heck up, and then they end up going up there and beating the crap out of them because they keep yelling obscenities or
I think I have seen that.
It's so funny.
I like the one where Bill Hader has that like little Muppet puppet thing. It throws up all over the place.
I'm sure James is already clipping that SNL one, so thank you. I can just say that language and sex comedy is completely unfiltered and outrageous in a wonderful way. Okay.
He's still in the caps.
Yeah, he woke up.
At
Hey,
this point.
Death Rattle. Oh, Bunk, we had a lot of fun. I'm eager to get you back on. Jake, you Gen Zer, you. This is directed at Taylor, so I don't know.
I've only watched like 2 episodes of Succession, so that's not why I haven't been here on Sundays.
My wife and I just started watching Ted Lasso last night.
Oh, I just finished it a couple days ago with my wife.
We love it so far. We only have seen 2 episodes, I think, but BBC Ghosts ended for us with season 3, and the only way to get season 4 is if Kelly's over here with her illegal VPN that gets us the episodes illegally on her laptop. Paramore is okay. Well,
we're really behind.
How far? 8:15. Oh my goodness! Yeah, typical. Well, they have Black Canary as the lead singer, so I think that's cool. Good evening, William Lee. Yeah, I don't even know what I don't know that I've ever heard a Paramore song. On my way to get an ice cream cone for the video I'm shooting. Actually, isn't Bunkmaster, aren't you out playing miniature golf and getting ice cream with your family? Here's Hondo. What up? You know who is boss? The dynamic duo of Omnidog and the Minister. That's who.
You know what's really boss?
Oh, let's see. I didn't get Cyclops, but I got Emma.
My wife wasn't too happy about this figure.
What did she say?
She's like, "Oh, what is that?" She's like, "Oh, come on." Because Sam was looking at it. She's like, "Oh, come on. What, really?" I was like, "All right, well, I'll take it upstairs." I tried to, unpack that Emma Frost is really cool and I like her in Astonishing X-Men, but that didn't seem to be registering with her. But I love this Cyclops. I love the fingers you can put up to his head. Or he can give you finger guns.
Ooh, double duty.
Yeah. Did you get these?
I just got Emma.
I think this is my favorite Cyclops costume, I think.
And what era is that? Is that animated?
It's Astonishing X-Men by Joss
Astonishing.
Whedon.
All right.
John Cassaday.
Well, obviously I need to reread Astonishing.
And this is a good face sculpt too.
Okay, wait. I do have that, and I got the Elektra.
That's a good face sculpt.
Yeah, it does look good.
Sometimes the women's faces, it can be hit or miss.
Ooh, yeah.
She kind of looks like Christina Aguilera. Interesting. What do you think?
I now want Christina Aguilera to play Emma Frost in the upcoming X-Men movie.
I would sing a Christina Aguilera song, but I can't remember any off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Yeah, if I don't know, you probably don't have a chance either.
Cigarettes in general are the greatest things on earth.
They're too expensive nowadays too. It's like $8.
That's what Sasmurf says. I remember when I was a teenager, some kid gave me money to buy him cigarettes, and I know, peace and love, I shouldn't have done it, but I was going into 7-Eleven anyway. This is 40 years ago. And I came out and I said, that pack was $5. You're spending $5 on this? He's like, yeah, man, thanks. And away he went.
It's quite the expensive habit.
Yeah.
Comics is better and healthier for you. But
I miss them every day. Cigarettes. My dad smoked 30 years and then quit cold turkey and never smoked again when I was a little kid. Took my wife about 3 tries before she'd get it up. You meant carton. Okay, well, you're right. I'm older than the Minister. Yep, the Minister is part of the youth movement. Sweet Mimosa has the last goiter copy in existence.
Every time you say goiter, I just think of that episode of Seinfeld where she's meeting with that woman who has the goiter on her face. Well, wait, who is she? Oh, she was the one who had a relationship with Gandhi.
Right. Did she have pictures of herself with him?
I can't remember.
I kind of remember that too. Gives Josh his own show. Airplane 2 is a lot better than Caddyshack. Oh, I forgot they remade Blues Brothers.
Blues Brothers 2000 was the sequel or something like that.
With the less talented Belushi as in there.
Wasn't John Goodman in it? I can't remember. I never saw it.
I actually never did either. Definitely smoking less than I used to on the way to work, and then I let myself have one of them out at a bar. Okay. That's impressive, Cycle. I promise we're going to get to comics just a sec. Oh, Max Collins wrote Batman, if I recall correctly. He's the one that's writing the Miss Tree comics that you recommend to me, right?
Yeah, I have them somewhere. They're in this pile somewhere. But yeah, you would definitely like those. Well, you've read them before, like back in the 80s, right?
I read them in singles back then, and I liked them. Over in the DC room, I have one of them. I can't remember which one it is, but I would like to read that extremely soon.
You would really like it, I think, because I think crime comics in general owe a lot to Miss Tree. Like something like Stumptown, definitely. You can see influences there, having a female private eye. I just think it's really important for a comic fan who likes crime comics in particular.
I think it's time to address the elephant in the room with Stumptown. I have completely gone through everything from the old house, and Stumptown is in hardcover is nowhere to be found.
So what do you think happened?
I honestly don't know.
Are you sure you had the hardcovers? Is there a chance you never bought them?
No, because I remember, when did this start? Like 2019?
It's probably whenever we started doing shows, and I think that was 2019.
Yeah, because I had earlier just seen them in a box in the unfinished part of the basement. I can't imagine that, because I didn't even own the soft covers at that point. I can't imagine that I took them to Second and Charles.
It might have just been an accident. Like it wasn't like you trying to. You must have just like grabbed a couple boxes. That's the most likely of all the.
I think you might be right.
Yeah, like you just accidentally grabbed them and you put them on in that box and you just happen to take them. I think that's probably the most likely situation.
It's a sad state of affairs.
Trying to find some Miss Tree. Okay, I found one Miss Tree.
Max Allen Collins is great. Oh, from Rick Gray. Been reading a lot of the
Another
Eclipse
one.
Renegade.
That was a great one too. Road to Perdition.
I do have that one.
I love that movie in particular. You ever seen that movie?
I have not. I want to.
It's a great movie.
Oh wait, Road to Perdition. Was that with Tom Hanks and Paul Newman? Yeah, I did see it.
So basically, Miss Tree is about a woman named Michelle Michael Tree who her husband is murdered, and that's like the first issue, so it's not a spoiler. But her husband gets murdered. He's a private eye, and she basically takes revenge and takes over his private investigation business. And she's the kind of woman who shoots first and asks questions later.
Oh, I love it.
And she's rough. She's tough. She beats up a lot of people. And she definitely shoots a lot of people in the head. That's for sure.
Oh, my gosh. I'm going to go read that tonight.
You need to get... which ones do you have?
I have to go... Well, nothing's keeping me because I'm not hooked up to a mic. I broke my mic. Let's see. I think I know right where it is.
Like, there's her shooting a guy with his own shotgun. That's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Okay, let's see. I've got.
You would definitely love it because it's like I think he's the first one who ever did a female private eye.
That is really cool. So Minky Woodcock owes a lot to that then, which I love.
Oh, I have that on my Hoopla. I need to read that.
I'd be interested in your opinion. Unless you don't like it, then I don't want your opinion.
Because I've been working through some of the hard case crime stuff on Hoopla. What did I read? I read I read Peepland. I think you read that too. I remember seeing your review when I reviewed that.
Yeah, I remember Peepland. I think I still have it.
It was decent. It wasn't worth buying, but I thought it was worth reading.
Yeah.
Did you have Breakneck? Is it called Breakneck Hard Case Crime by Dwayne Straczynski or whatever?
That doesn't sound familiar to me.
That was a lot of fun. That was a hard case crime book, and it's really funny, and I think you'd really enjoy it.
You'll have to text me the name because I'm not finding what I came in here to look for. Maybe it's right next to the Stumptown hardcovers because I thought it was right here.
The Stumptown, you did paperbacks now, don't you?
Yeah, I know right where those are because they're in the shelf of bitterness. What the heck? Where's Miss Tree? Unless I moved her. Well, I found my missing Minky Woodcock, so I can file her up with the other Minky Woodcock from Titan Comics that Super Laugh Hard likes so much. Okay, well, this trip was utterly worthless. I apologize to people watching.
Did you buy them, you think? Or maybe you didn't buy them?
I did buy one Miss Tree.
Okay.
I'm sure I'll find it after we sign off because I really want to read it. Like really, really badly.
It's definitely right up your alley.
Yeah, you've been singing its praises for a long time. And you know your crime, so I like to read your recommendations.
Yeah, Max Allan Collins is one of the best crime writers, like hard-boiled crime writers. Like he did, I don't know if you ever read these back in the day, Jess, like the Quarry series or the Nathan Heller series, where he actually investigates real crimes that happened in real life, and he tries to come up with plausible solutions to real crimes. Like the best book he wrote, I think, is Flying Blind, where Nathan Heller solves the Amelia Earhart mystery. That was really good.
These are novels?
Yes. So he does novels and comics. His novels are really good too.
That's very impressive.
Like however, he always said with the Nathan Heller Private Eye series, he does all the research to write the definitive nonfiction book of a certain crime or person, then he writes a Private Eye novel instead. So that's a really cool premise, I think.
That is a cool premise.
And he also finished all the Mickey Spillane manuscripts that weren't done yet.
Oh yeah.
It was like he was like his apprentice. And he actually, what else did he do? Oh, he also Chester Gould picked him to be the writer Dick Tracy after him.
Oh yeah, I remember reading that.
Now what a bad movie that was. Yeah, yikes. Remember that?
Dick Tracy?
Yeah.
With Warren Beatty?
Yeah, that was Al Pacino as like the cartoon bad guy.
I was really hyped for that movie because he did it in all bright colors and made it super comic booky, and I thought this is going to be, my Gone with the Wind. I can't wait for this movie. And I walked out of there with Patty with like my head hung low. I was like, I'm so sorry I dragged you to this.
It looked good.
It sure did.
It was kind of like the movie The Spirit by Frank Miller. It looked cool, but it was just terrible in every other way.
I never saw that because so many people told me it was terrible.
That was a good comic. Remember the Darwin Cook Spirit? Those 2 volumes?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
that was really good.
I enjoyed those. Harley Quinn was partially based on Arlene Sorkin's performance in a Days of Our Lives storyline.
Well, yeah, Paul Dini based a lot off Arlene Sorkin, who ended up being is it Arlene Sorkin, or I can't remember what her full name is, but yeah, she was a friend of his, and then she ended up voicing the character.
Right.
Because remember, she was in that volume he wrote about that night he was attacked, and she was the one he saw that night.
Yeah. Okay. Soap opera.
Well, speaking of comics, I'll show off some of the comics I got in Columbus the other day while hunting.
Oh, yeah. You went found a honey hole in Columbus.
I found this book, which I really enjoyed, Cyclops by Greg Rucka.
I love that.
And what a short-lived series that was fantastic, and I wish it had gone on for like 20-some issues. Russell Dowderman, who is really famous for drawing Thor, he does half the run. And I wish he had done all of it. I mean, the artist who finishes it was pretty good, but I mean, it's hard to really compare to him. I just love it because it's a father and son story. It's got young Scott Summers from the all-new X-Men run by Bendis. He's a younger version who comes from the past, and he goes on adventures with his dad. And it was just a ton of fun. I mean, Greg Rucka is always a hit for me. I don't think I've ever read anything by him that was bad. So, unfortunately, he didn't finish the run. I think it's finished by Jonathan Lehman. And Jess, I think you talked about maybe finishing it. I don't know if you ever did.
I did not.
Anyway, it's still a fun volume, even though I wish it had continued. I think, Jess, you recommended this to me, or I've seen you recommend it before.
Yeah, I think I recommended it to you. I really liked it.
Picked up the Ministry of Space.
Ooh.
But, I mean, I always like Warren Ellis, and I think, Jess, you said this one was really good. I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, I dug that one.
There was
one.
Sorry,
that's out of print?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
It was really cheap anyway. It was like $10, so it wasn't like a super expensive one. But I think there's another one I asked you about by Warren Ellis that you said you had never fully understood it, even though you've read it before. I can't remember what it was called.
Warren Ellis.
It was like a female lead. You said there's one book. I read it. It looked really nice, but I didn't understand what happened.
Maybe I need to go back in our chat to see what the name of that was.
I got another Warren Ellis, Cemetery Beach. I couldn't find this on something like In Stock Trades, and on Amazon it was cover price. So I'm like, I might as well just buy it because on Amazon you never know how it's going to be delivered to you, unless you're Jess, then you'll get a perfect copy. And then I also got this volume. I always want more Hellblazer, Pandemonium, with art by Jock, and Jock's one of my favorite artists, so this is kind of a no-brainer for me.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever read this?
I did, yeah. Back in the day when I was reading all Hellblazer, it was Supreme Blue Rose.
Okay,
because that's a tie-in to the series Supreme, which I hadn't read yet, and so I just went into Supreme Blue Rose and didn't understand it at all because I hadn't read Supreme yet.
Okay.
Did you get that or not?
I didn't, because you said you didn't really understand it, so I was like, yeah, maybe I'll wait till later.
That was a user error. I
okay.
didn't. Yeah.
Did you remember liking this book?
Yeah, I do. I liked the Jamie Delano run, and I liked all of that.
All right, cool. I need to read this soon. So that's what I picked up there.
And I'm going to hold you to what you said, the nice things that you said about my sobriety episode, where you said we need to redo the Pittsburgh honey hole trip.
Well, there's some more stories we didn't even get to like half of them, I think. So
on my Pittsburgh trip,
I think we only went to 4. We went to 5, and there's like 20 some around here. So I feel
like
there's a lot more we could go to. There's one in particular that's like 40 minutes away. I've just never gotten to, but they seem to have a great selection. It's just a far drive. It's hard with kids and stuff to find, like, because it's not just 40 minutes there and 40 minutes back. A good comic shop, you need to be there for at least 2 hours, at least.
Hopefully with a milkshake in your hand, like that very first one we went into, and you said the immortal words. What did you say?
Oh, that was whenever we were in the first honey hole, and I said, do you think there's anybody in the world having as much fun as we are right now? Well, I made you my famous breakfast sandwich.
Yeah.
And then we went to get the milkshake, and then we went to the honey hole, and then we went to get pizza right after that. So that was a fun day.
I feel like we took the milkshakes into the store with us.
We might have. I can't remember.
But that's when you said that, and I was like, you are 100% right. We are the happiest people on earth.
I don't know. That second day was pretty good too. We hit like 4. We hit 4 stores. You found that absolute Wildcats that they had to get for you. That was like way up on the top shelf, and I think you were able to sell that one.
Oh, I flipped it immediately.
You had no desire to read it.
No. I'm not getting any book that's great for the art. I want a story too. And no, that I sold that to help my health insurance bills.
Right. Yeah. So that was you also got Permanis that day.
That was
you got
so
the
good.
pastrami sandwich, and you asked if it was lean pastrami, then you felt like an idiot.
I was such an idiot. That poor guy.
He's probably still thinking about it.
Oh, Ilana's from Wales. Okay, I'm glad I didn't guess, because I would not have picked Wales. Yeah, see, sorry I spoiled it for you that Darth is Leia's mom. Okay, wait. Xanax. Cycle took his Xanax bolus. I took a bolus right before this, so I was really salty before that, but now I feel better. You were gonna get unfiltered salty Jess when I was about ready to get on. What in the world? Peanut butter filled pretzel nuggets. Did you know that Cycle Cleveland is licensed to stick IVs in people? Ugh.
I hate that. I hate looking at that.
Oh, and he thinks it's funny when people pass out from it and throw up, and he's like a licensed sticker inner of needles person.
I've given blood once, and that's more than enough. I'm never doing it again. I hate that.
Oh my
feeling.
god!
I had it when I was a youth pastor. One of my former students for his senior project did a blood drive, and I was like, I guess I have to go to support him. And after I'm like, I'm never doing that again.
I would have quit the profession.
I feel terrible. I hate looking at it. Oh. I just don't get how they could stick a needle in my vein and it doesn't explode. I just don't understand.
Bunkmaster goes every 16 weeks or something to give blood because he has a rare blood type. And
does he get paid for it out of the goodness of his heart?
He does it because he's a nice guy. And I almost threw up and passed out when he went into it. I'm not good with that stuff. Have there been any runs that Marvel stopped collecting in OHCs? Yes.
Dr. Aphra, you said Spider-Gwen?
Spider-Gwen. They did 3 OHCs and then 2 trades.
Well, but there's like the Hulk by the Immortal Hulk run that they finished the hardcovers. That's getting an omnibus. There's the Jason Thor run. They finished that. That's getting omnis. So there's examples recently of them finishing it.
That's true.
I'm not saying that they're definitely going to do it, but there's examples of them actually finishing it.
Okay, you're giving me hope.
Oh, they look so good next to my Mark Waid hardcovers too.
Your Mark Waid Daredevil?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm looking right at them all.
I think hardcovers, deluxe hardcovers are superior to omnis in every way imaginable.
I also agree with that.
Hot take, unfiltered.
Wait, I have that. Wait, where is that? Hot takes.
You know what else I really like that I think is on its way out in some ways? They do it sometimes, but I think it's a really great format is the thick complete collections by Marvel, the trade paperback ones. I really like that format.
From what I've been able to figure out, I feel like that's what they're leaning towards more than the OHCs. It was brought up. It was brought up on the last time I was with Omar and Lars and Curtis and Odfell, the end of the month Marvel solicitations, that they seem to be putting out fewer OHCs and they seem to be leaning more towards this new Marvel modern epic thing, which really worries me if they're going to, I don't even want to put it out there. So maybe I need to reel it all back in and have the faith that you do.
Oh, and so MN40, he's way down in the chat. You don't have to look there, but he also said that Venom by Cates was completed in OHC before the omnibus.
Oh,
so there's that.
Okay, wait. I'll go to the end and then come back up because people like that when I go in reverse. Whoa, I am way behind.
I think we're like 30 or 40 minutes behind.
Wait, where was Zen-Man? Oh, Cat by Coates, BP by Coates, and Venom by Cates were also completed in OHC recently. Okay. I like OHC. Oh, New Spooey, welcome. My favorite way to read is with trade paperbacks. The rise in omnibus sales has led to a drop in OHC sales, says Marvel, from Sunny in Scotland. Oh my God, I'm so sorry I put that up. Sorry.
Jeff doesn't like that kind of humor, guys.
I don't even think he was being funny. I think that's his job.
Oh, is that his job? Oh, okay, that's someone.
Yeah, he's
the comment was so quick on there, I couldn't even see.
He's like apparently licensed to stick things in people. Oh my God, I'm going to throw up. Yeah, that was hard to collect.
And it was weird because it was like omnibus size, but it wasn't an omnibus. This is like back in like like early 2000s, around the time of the movie. So it was a weird time for Marvel, and the way they formatted things was strange.
Yeah, that I wasn't happy.
Or like another example was like, remember the yellow, blue, gray, and white book by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale? Like, it's an omnibus size. They didn't call it an omnibus. That was really weird.
I just kept all the colors. Where are those?
So I have the big thick hardcover, and it's like, why isn't it an omnibus? It's the omnibus size. It's bigger than like Howard the Duck. It's bigger than the Punisher Max omnibus.
Oh, yeah, I'm seeing it now. It's yellow, blue, and gray, and then I have it next to Captain Marvel, and you're right. It just says Marvel on it.
That's an example where it's like, what were you guys doing?
Okay. Well, that's scary. You need training at least. What store in Columbus did you go to, Taylor?
I think it was called The Laughing Ogre, I think.
Hmm.
They actually had a really interesting layout. They had some shelves that were like A, B, C, D through Z, but they had some that was like creator centric. Like they had an Ed Brubaker section, they had a Rick Remender section, they had a Warren Ellis section, a Jeff Johns section. That was pretty cool. I never seen that before. Interesting idea.
Speaking of Rick Remender, we got into a chat earlier with Bunkmaster about Scumbag. I feel like you read some of Scumbag.
I read the first trade on Hoopla and didn't love it. I just didn't connect to it. It was one of those books where every issue's written by a different artist. I just don't love that. And I feel like the story was, it was like 2 years ago when I read it, so I don't remember all the details. I just remember not being very impressed by it. And this is someone who likes Rick Remender a lot.
Yeah,
I mean, I love his Deadly Class. I love Seven to Eternity, Death and Glory, Fear Agent. Black Science is my favorite Rick Remender, I think. Also, Uncanny X-Force.
Low? Do you have Low?
Punisher run. I know, because I can't stand Greg Ticini.
Oh, okay.
I'm not, especially his X-Force stuff.
Oh,
like
yeah, right.
Like that one where Deadpool's climbing the tower that he's bigger than somehow. Like that was, oh man, I do
remember that was a thing of yours.
His art was better in Last Days of American Crime, but I remember both of us not being blown away with that story. I think we were both kind of like, yeah, it was okay.
We thought the premise was great.
Oh yeah, it just felt like the execution was like, what a wasted premise for the like, you know, there's coming a day where you can't have any more crimes anymore, and everyone's trying to get under the wire. That's a cool premise, but I feel like it was wasted. I heard the movie was also horrible. So
there was a movie of it
on Netflix. Yeah, I don't think it did very well at all, as told by you not knowing about it. I think it kind of went under the radar for a lot of people.
Oh, I don't think I ever.
But I think Greg Ticini can be decent. I think Last Days of American Crime, his work was better than Uncanny X-Force, but he's just not my cup of tea. I just can't get into his artwork, really.
Newsbuoy, you didn't miss anything because I'm just now catching up to what you've been saying. Elon wants the recipe for the famous breakfast sandwich. I pulled into his house. This was like Thursday morning or Friday morning?
Friday morning.
Friday morning. Okay. Because I left Monday. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So I stayed. I pulled into your house like noonish. And you already had started it. I walked in and you had already started the sandwich. So are you okay with giving away the recipe to this famous sandwich? Because part of it is the minister love that goes into the sandwich. It's a house of love. It's very ministerial in there. It's all ministry and lovey. So that's part of the secret charm.
My wife tries to make them, and she says they're never as good as mine. So maybe it's just some magic touch that I have.
Yeah. Okay. So
I
she
don't know.
can't do it. Do you want to reveal how about just what's in it? You don't even have to say how you prepare
Well, I mean, it's basically just it's a big thing is the bagel that you get. You have to get a good type of bagel, whether it's from, the store or it's from a restaurant that specializes in bagels that you can go to. But the bagel's the biggest thing. You also have to have bacon. Bacon's a big part of it. Have the right cheese. The biggest thing is just the butter quantity. You put more butter on it than you think you have to. Especially you put butter on the bagel too, on the top slice, and that really adds to it.
Oh,
put the right amount of. I also stir pepper and salt into the eggs as I'm stirring them. That helps a lot too. So and then cooking the eggs in the bacon grease after you're done making the bacon. That's a big part.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I can see why maybe your wife can't replicate this.
It's not hard, but you just gotta get the right steps in.
Yeah. Okay. I get it.
You get 2 pieces of bacon. You rip them in half, and you have like a little cross section of bacon, kind of like a log cabin house.
Yeah, I remember it was awesome. I remember.
And if it's not dripping grease out the side, you made it wrong. That's the thing. Like women try to make the healthy breakfast sandwich because they want us to live longer, but we want to make the good breakfast sandwich
to kill us.
Right. So I want to live happy.
Rick Ray says The Laughing Ogre is a great store. Where are you from, Rick? Are you from like Cincinnati or you're not from Cleveland? I don't think. Super unpopular opinion. I found Eisner's The Spirit pretty meh. Oh, the book. Well, I like the line art. I had a hard time following the stories, and it was hard to tell the characters apart from one another. Hot take. Ooh, Larry in with the hot take. Eisner's something. The mystery series was first published by Eclipse, 10 issues, then Aardvark Anaheim, and the bulk of it published by Renegade Press. The publisher of Renegade was Denny Libert, Dave Sims' ex-wife. Wow. Lars with the pull there.
Jess, I was thinking about recommending this to you because it's not a comic, but there's illustrations to it. Max Allan Collins also does a novella series called Fancy Anders, a woman in the 40s who goes undercover to solve mysteries. And the first book is about her solving a Rosie the Riveter mystery of her dying. And each chapter has like art before it. I'll just see if I can find it for you.
Okay.
But like, look at the cover and tell me this isn't the Jess Bragg book. I know you pretty well. Where is it? Fancy Anders Goes to War. I'm trying to see if you can see it better. That looks like a Jess Bragg book to me.
I can't. Okay, wait. What's going on there?
I'll see if I can get on my screen. Hold on.
Okay. The collector's here who showed me his collection the other day, which was unbelievable. His hot toy collection is astonishing. And his Lego City is also astonishing. Talking about the Eisners. We talked about the breakfast sandwich. I don't know the answer to that one. I don't want to talk about any blood giving because I'm going to pass out. Oh, okay.
See if you can share my screen, Jess.
Yeah. Oh.
That looks like a Jess Bragg book.
Oh, 100%. You're right.
This is the Kindle edition, but you can buy a hardcover. Like they have like these kind of illustrations before each chapter.
Ooh.
I just feel like it's a novella. It's only 100 pages long, so you could read it pretty easily. And it looks like the book is only $7 on Amazon, the physical copy. And there's another one where look at all this art, Jess.
Ooh.
You would love this. This is a Jess Bragg book.
Look at that car. That's so bitchin'.
What a Jess Bragg book this is. I can't think of a more Jess Bragg book than this. Can you?
No. You do know me pretty well. Oh, there's 2 of them. Have you?
I haven't read them yet, but I've heard they're really good. I haven't gotten to them, but I saw it. I'm like, Jess would love this.
Fancy Anders for the boys, and they're just novellas, huh?
Yeah, they're like $7 each. There's a lot of art in them before each chapter. I think you would probably enjoy them. So, just to give you an idea.
I like that there's a new feature that the guest can share now.
That is nice.
Yeah. Catheter, don't want to talk about that. Old example, but I don't think that they finished off the Bruce Jones Hulk run in OHC. Is that? I feel like that might be getting an omnibus.
I'm surprised it hasn't. That's a pretty popular Hulk run.
Right.
You got that all in trades, and that was kind of hard to find all of them, wasn't it? Not hard, but you had to track them all down.
Yeah, and I had to track down the Jeff Parker ones too. Those were not expensive, but they were tricky to find them all because they're lightly out of print. For some reason, I feel like maybe the chat knows. Of course, the chat knows. Did Very Fine announce a Bruce Jones omnibus? I feel like he did, but I don't watch his channel, so I don't actually know. Gerard says all complete collections will be epics eventually. Woo. Laughing my ass off. You normies are grossed out by everything. Not gonna lie. Yeah, I am.
Jess is grossed out by most things.
I am. Just people in general gross me out. Oh, thank you. Let's take a look. It's actually, I think this and the Dan Slott She-Hulk are my favorite shirts.
Is that guy in the chat who takes pictures of your shirts?
No.
You're doing exactly what he wants.
Okay. Stephen, that's how I organize my books. Like 90% of it is alphabetical by publisher and then series. But I've got an Ed Brubaker section and a couple others I pulled out separately. Good for you to spell separately properly, Stephen. I have all my OHCs and Omnis and are organized. I got a problem with my DC in the other room. I just haven't done it yet. And then I got a real problem in here. I actually talked to Peter M in New Zealand, and he seemed like he was up for it because I had all my X-Men trades in the right reading order. So like Matt Fraction's Uncanny Run had like a couple things. It wasn't all together. And God bless the guys that packed up my books, but everything got taken out of order and unpacked. And Peter said he'd be willing to spend like hours with me if I set up my camera, my phone camera, at my X-Men trade collection, and he'd help me organize it. I mean, that's a pretty nice thing to do. It's also right up his alley, and that would be a nice way to spend time with him, actually.
Ooh, yeah, it would be fun. That'd be a good live show with you, Peter M, and Omar, because him and Omar can fight over what order to do.
It'd turn into a map my trade paperback collection. News buoy. There are a few X-Men OHCs like Wedding of Cyclops and Phoenix. Although, isn't it? Oh no, that's the trade that's spelled Phoenix. And Eve of Destruction that are much larger than many Silver Bronze Age Omnis. I think Inferno's like that too, right? Only I think Inferno's coming back as an Omni with...
You're asking the wrong guy.
Yeah, I have Inferno here. X-Men Inferno, and then I believe it's the X-Men Inferno Companion. And those are both Gigunda. Low Tocchini is best Tocchini by a wide margin, but he's not a Tocchini fan. I think I should be watching another channel, but my preferred way to read comics always will be single issues and then trade paperbacks. I love having you, Lars, but yeah, I'm all about collected editions. Although I do collect Harley single issues and Adam Hughes single issues, and I'm going to make myself stop there. I do not. No, yeah, I don't even want to talk about it. It's going to make me crazy if I try to collect anything else. No. Still haven't read Black Science. It's on my list, though. Do you remember when that Black Science statue was announced?
Yeah. It's let's just say that the final product didn't look like the sculpt that they said it was going to look like.
We were all so excited about the initial presentation, and then she ended up looking like a blow-up doll.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
And I said, I don't think so.
Well, and the Black Science first hardcover had a lot of binding issues, if you remember that.
And that's the one I have, yeah.
And that's why I was like scared to buy Rick Remender hardcovers for a while, because there was issues with that one and a couple other ones, I think, too. So I went and put the trades, and now they're good. But I'm like, I've invested so much in the trades. I'm like, I'm not going back.
I feel like Bunkmaster really, he read a lot of Scumbag, and the people in the chat were also not that thrilled with it.
He didn't like it either?
Bunkmaster didn't, and then several people in the chat were with him.
I just wasn't into it at all. There was like I'm fine with an unlikable character, but there's nobody I cared about at all in the entire series. Like, you have to care about somebody. Even if it's a bad person, like, make them likable in some way. But the main character was so disgusting and so evil and so just annoying. It was like, I don't like this person. I don't even care if he dies. And that's not a good place to be. I think you can make an unlikable character sympathetic and someone you root for, but
like Constantine or Constantine,
or like Walter White on Breaking Bad. He's like an unredemptive person, but people
I never saw it. I haven't seen it.
But you know of it. You understand what I'm talking about.
I understand the premise, yeah.
Right. So it's one of those things where he's a character who's unlikable. He does horrible things, but you still root for him in a way and still want to watch him.
Yeah, and somehow they pulled that off with Constantine in the whole Hellblazer series, because I wonder what it is that makes us care about him, because he's really, he's not a good person. I guess he does enough. Well, gosh, that Cy Spurrier run that we both love so much. He was reasonably likable in that, because he wanted to, if I remember correctly, he wanted to mentor that one kid, and didn't like the way he was being used by the other magician.
Right. I think it's just good writing. I think it's just finding a way to get inside the character. Even if you don't like what they're doing, you at least understand what they're doing. You understand why they're doing it. And I feel like in Scumbag, I just didn't really get why he was such a bad person. I didn't really get who he was. I feel like if you're going to have someone who's so deplorable and so crazy, you have to kind of understand why they're that way. Maybe it's like a family history. Maybe it's an experience they had, or whatever. I just feel like we didn't get it. We didn't get like a jump into why he is the way he is.
Right. When I said I am 44 minutes late, which you just read, that was 14 minutes ago, and you're reading backwards. What's that little emoji? Is that the emoji? I can't quite tell. Sandwich blessed by God. Bacon enhances everything. More butter than you think. Every dish from the South. Eggs and bacon grease is normal. Just as breakfast sandwiches. We weren't counting calories that weekend. We had like 3 of the most amazing milkshakes ever created. Jess will be listening as I drive to work at the Regency Ballroom. This is in the San Francisco Bay Area. Blue Bucks Clan, I think Young Hip Hop is playing tonight. Peace and love to you and the minister. Hondo, best of luck with that at the Regency. Oh gosh, I'm salivating now. Peanut butter and bacon sandwiches. That's what Elvis had with banana. Wait. What's happening here? I'm not able to go to the next. Oh, okay. Okay, wait. The 345 great breakfast sandwich. Give me 2, please, right? Oh, that's right. You live in Indianapolis.
Just get all your calories in for the day with 1 breakfast sandwich.
Better we die on our feet than live on our knees. The logic of making good bacon versus healthy bacon. Okay, now you're getting into a health debate with Cycle. What are you up to? Stop. Okay, now they're discussing. Okay, wait. That quote is attributed to Emiliano Zapata, but Magneto says it in the final episode of the first season of X-Men, the animated series, so I blame him. Disagreeing on the Spirit from 1945, and the last story, The Spirit on the Moon, and drawn by Wally Wood, are pure genius. I am. I'm sorry that Barr is sleeping. I wish she was awake 24/7. She's so great. Oh, good. Love the Bruce Jones Hulk run. Oh, but there hasn't been announced. Okay. For some reason, I thought there was. Said it was on his wish list.
I'm so behind on everything. I have no idea.
Yeah, me either. Oh, maybe this was it. It was in his top 10 Omnis. Oh, here's Carly. Hey, how's it going? I'm going to rewind and catch up. Can just warn us before he does that. What, go to the end and come back up? I got dangerously lightheaded. James, let's enjoy this quiet time. Today we received the announcement of Silver Age Daredevil Volume 3, less than the week after Volume 2 came out. Progress. How do you categorize your non-DC and non-Marvel books? I haven't yet. I did create, as Taylor was saying, I did create a remender shelf with all his big books. I created an oversized Image shelf with like Paper Girls and Saga, and then and other books like that. I created, but I think I put what's that Rucka book we love so much?
Lazarus.
I have I think I stuck Lazarus there, but then I have a Greg Rucka shelf separately for his trades. It's a work in progress because I'm trying to sell a lot of stuff that doesn't fit in this house. So it's hard for me. You saw I went in there and I thought I knew where Miss Tree was, and it wasn't there. But I know I own it, but I don't know where it is. That sounds like me, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it does. As long as you understand where your books are and you understand how they're organized, that's all that matters. Like, you know, people always ask your opinion on how to organize books. It's whatever you want. It doesn't really matter.
And I thought I knew where Miss Tree was, but she ain't there.
But also, my collection isn't nearly as big as yours, so it's not really the biggest challenge to find where my books are. But you have like multiple rooms. I only have one room, so it's kind of hard to like not find something for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think most collections aren't as big as yours, so it's a little bit harder for you, I think, than for the regular Joe Schmo.
Minister Schmo. Just has Crime Corner been retired? Ever since the original co-host decided he didn't have enough time because he had a second child and a new job, it's been kind of spotty because his replacement has been going through some life changes that have made it hard to do. I'd like to keep it going, so I'll get back in touch with Joe and see how things are going. I like talking about how people collect, how they have them organized. I have my collection by publisher, title, character, if they're company owned, then creator owned, or all by author, title, series in a separate section?
I like to arrange by type of book. I like the way it looks.
Like
as
format?
As you can see, library editions, then omnis from Dark Horse, and then I kind of have edition and publisher. So Dark Horse. Then I have Vertigo down here. I have an omnibus of iZombie. I think I have Scalped right here, Sweet Tooth. So I kind of just arrange it by publisher and format in that publisher, if that makes sense.
It does make sense, because that's how the chat talked me into it back when I first moved into the house, because it didn't used to be by format. It was character and chronologically. So I had like omnibus, trade paperback, hardcover standard, hardcover, trade paperback, like that. But now I've got it all. This room is all in the same format. Marvel's not organized yet. DC, I'm having a hard time organizing it because they're really odd with what comes out in a deluxe and what comes out in a standard, and what material they even release. So the best I've been able to do is get all of Rebirth hardcovers together, all of Rebirth trades together, and then I have Batman oversized and Superman oversized, and Black Label big books are all put together, but there's only like 7 or 6 of those. It's a good problem to have. I know. I'm not going to complain and pretend I'm like working in a coal mine. So
I'm always interested in how people put their books on their shelves, like placement. Like yours are towards the front of your shelf, whereas mine are toward the middle, because then you could put figures on there.
Yeah.
And also I noticed in my Kalak shelves, in my carpeting, that if I put them all towards the front, these heavy books, the bookshelf can kind of lean a little bit.
Yeah.
So I put it back in the middle and it perfectly balances. So that's what I've noticed. So it has the best of both worlds. It balances well, and the figures can go in front of the books too.
That's a good point. Figures matter.
But if you are fixing your shelves to the wall, like strapping them in, bolting them in, that's not a problem. I just don't do that because I don't want to deal with it whenever I move someday.
And we're in a rental, so I don't want to start bolting things to walls.
But I know a lot of people do that. It is safer, and it's also not going to. But I found the healthy balance of putting it back in the middle, and it's just perfectly balanced. So I don't have to worry about it.
Oh, the Inferno Omni came out January of last year. Okay, good. Cycle doesn't read Omnis. I'll be selling my collection of 2,000 Batman comics soon-ish. You need to finish reading them all, right? Have you read Charles Soule's Darth Vader? Thinking about getting the Omni?
I like his run even better than Kieran Gillen's, which is also fantastic.
I agree with what he said. They are both incredibly awesome.
I just liked how it was right after Revenge of the Sith, and you see the ramifications of Order 66 and Darth Vader finding the Kyber crystal for his new lightsaber. I just thought I really liked that era of Star Wars, even though the prequel trilogy isn't my favorite. There's a lot of cool concepts there that I think he explored really well in that series. But there's that woman who had the gun that she made, the lightsaber gun. Remember that?
Yeah,
that was really cool. That was really cool.
I think that it sounds like I'm missing a lot by not seeing the 2 animated shows, Clone Wars and Rebels, that if I saw them, it would fill in a lot and make the earlier Star Wars things a lot more understandable and put them in context, sort of.
Yeah, it's like I said, I think the problem with the prequel trilogy is the 3 things, I think. It's the acting is really bad on the whole. Even Natalie Portman, who's a great actress, is terrible in that. But there's only so much a great actor can do with horrible, stilted dialogue. Like, I just hate sand, the way it gets coarse and it gets everywhere. It's like, okay, George, like, what are you doing? But there's a lot of cool story beats there. But the problem, like I said earlier, the third problem I have is Anakin's turn is so sudden and so jarring. So I think if the dialogue was better, they had a couple of better actors, or maybe the dialogue made them act a little bit better, and he fixed that jarring transition, I think it'd be a lot better of a trilogy.
Mm.
That's just my personal opinion.
So, Greg, we recommend you get that Darth Vader 100%. Oh, Cycle bought the Black Science statue in solidarity to support the series.
It looks like a melting wax figure.
Okay. Scumbag is pretty meh. Great art, though.
Have you heard anybody that likes it?
Somebody did like it in the chat with Bunkmaster, but I don't remember who it was. But it was like 10-1 against it.
And I typically like his stuff. I don't think everything he does is fantastic, but he's a pretty good batting average. He's not like Ed Brubaker or Greg Rucka to me, where I feel like everything is at least like a solid hit. But I feel like sometimes he strikes out, but very rarely, but sometimes he does.
I think, yeah, I agree with that. I never read Black Science, but I did enjoy watching the Weird Science TV series on USA Network in the mid-late 90s. Does that count for anything? I don't know.
Sure.
I saw the movie. Okay. Oh, now this is what I'm looking forward to. Righteous Thirst for Vengeance. Oh, it's his favorite. Rick Ray knows books. It's my favorite Remender book.
Is that your life story?
Righteous Thirst for Vengeance?
That sounds like your life story autobiography.
By Salty Jazz. First Black Science hardcover had some issues with light printing in the narration box text. I'm going to have to go back and look at that.
Jess, you know what movie this is a random thought. I saw something in the chat that made me think of this movie. Did you ever see Dewey Cox? With
no, and I meant to.
You would love that movie with John C. Reilly. It's fantastic. It has like one of the funniest like through lines in the movie. It's just so funny. He's walking in on his bandmates doing certain drugs. It's always a different drug throughout history. Like it's marijuana, then it's cocaine, and then uppers and downers and that kind. It's just like so funny. I think you would just love that.
What is it? Walk Hard?
Yeah, where he's like talking to his wife, you can take the kids, but you leave me my monkey. Or he meets the Beatles, and it's like Jack Black, Paul Rudd, and I can't remember who else. It's just a really funny movie. If you like Anchorman, you'll love that movie.
Oh, and I love Anchorman.
Or Step Brothers. Step Brothers might be my favorite.
Oh my gosh, I love Step Brothers.
That's definitely a rewatchable movie.
Yeah, that's one that all three of us love watching. Breaking Bad is great, Jess. Check it out at some point. I know I need to. Give it maybe 5 episodes to pick up speed, though, if it seems too slow. I would marry Constantine, even from the original series. I'd probably die as a result, but that's okay. Okay, Darkwave Fairy, that's a statement. I like that. It's a bold statement.
Yeah, he has a bad track record getting people sent to hell, too. So that is
that's
a risky proposition.
Yeah. I think John has a heart underneath it all. He's selfish, but he generally means well and wants to make the world better, but he's not good at making himself better, so things fall apart. I think that's a good analysis.
T-Lar Blunt's here.
Oh, T-Lar, oh my gosh, I'm so far behind.
He probably left already. Knowing him.
Well, love you both almost equally. T-Lar, are you still here? T-Lar has been feeling even worse than I have, the poor guy. I haven't been able to even get him on the phone. Oh, Larry, I'm so sorry. Thank you for joining. It's been good to have you. Dragon Majesty, welcome. I liked Scumbag. Okay. It's just insane comedy with sci-fi elements. I do have the first trade, so I'll read it and judge like you did. You just read the first trade, right? How many? Oh, yeah. How many Tracksuit Mafia Marvel Legends did you get? You got a bunch.
10, 20. Is there a limit? Is there a limit you could buy figures like of a certain figure, Jess, on like Big Bag Toy Store? Is there like a limit?
Sometimes they'll put a limit on it.
I just wonder if he's like, I'm gonna buy 20, and they're like, no, you can't do that.
I think he found them at Target or something, and they were on sale. So he said, "Yeah, I bought a bunch of these," and I I forgot all about who they were, and they had a baseball bat as one of the props, and a few other things as props. So what did I? Okay, this goes back. Wait, is this the right one? Oh yeah, this is before they hijacked me and had Patty and Kelly assault me
With love.
with love. Yes, I got assaulted with love that day.
That sounds like a great song. Now, what artist?
It does.
What artist from the 60s and 70s, Jess, could you picture of writing that song? "Assaulted by Love." I'm trying to think of what would be like a good artist to.
Assaulted by Love. I think that's too on the nose for somebody like John Lennon from the 60s and 70s. That sounds like maybe a top 40 song in the 70s.
That kind of sounds like a Huey Lewis song.
Yeah,
a sequel to The Power of Love, "Assaulted by Love."
That is perfect. What? Oh my gosh, Tyler!
Here's
talk so much.
Here's a good question, Jess. Can you think of a better like mashup of a band and a movie working together than Huey Lewis and the News and Back to the Future?
Oh yeah, that was perfect.
Like The Power of Love, and then ending with Back in Time, and then Huey Lewis is actually in the movie. I'm trying to think of other movies that really.
He was like part of the faculty.
It's too loud. It's just too darn loud. He has the megaphone. I'm trying to think of other movies that utilize a band really well, or have like a theme song from a band that I'm trying to think. I can't think of another good example.
I will share a memory of Huey Lewis and the News. When I lived in Carmel for maybe 6 months, this bar, rundown bar with rundown love shacks called the Mission Ranch, was maybe a 3-minute walk from me. That's where my dad took me when I was 12 to play pinball, and it was a dime a game, and we played pinball together. We walked down there, and somehow they got a live music license, and Huey Lewis and the News was there when he was really starting his climb up, and 3 friends and I just walked from my house down to live music and seeing Huey Lewis and the News. That was an awesome experience, but I'm 100% sure that the neighbors got together and yanked that license, because Mission Ranch was in a neighborhood, a quiet neighborhood. Well, Carmel's generally quiet anyway at night and during the day. But that was so awesome to be able to just walk to a concert when we usually had to drive 3 hours to San Francisco or someplace to see somebody. So that was awesome to see him back then. We also saw Greg Kinn there, which I loved Greg Kinn back in the day.
I feel bad for Huey Lewis losing his hearing too. He can't.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he can't. I don't think he can tour anymore. He can't hear.
Does he have tinnitus or anything?
I don't know, but it's something like that. But I forget. I remember seeing him on like CBS Morning or something like that, because I love Huey Lewis in the News, and I can't think of what he has, but he's losing his hearing really bad. And his last tour, I think that was his last one. He just couldn't do it anymore.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, Rocky with Eye of the Tiger. That's a good one. Across the Universe. I didn't love that movie. I don't know why. I couldn't get into. I like the Beatles. I'm not the biggest Beatles fan, but I just didn't like the movie itself.
I haven't seen that, but my daughter loved it back when it came out, and I still want to see Moulin Rouge with
Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, and
Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, I still want to see that.
Psycho Cleveland, That Thing You Do. That's a good Tom Hanks movie.
Oh yeah,
he directed that too.
Yeah, Yeah. Oh wait, they're talking about Assaulted by Love, The Cure or something. The Eagles. Foreigner or Journey could sing Assaulted by Love.
Ooh, that's a really good point. Foreigner or Journey. That's a good Assaulted by Love choice. Maybe we need to work on this, Jess.
Yeah. We need to work on the lyrics and sell it to those guys.
James Brown and Rocky IV. I don't remember that part.
Oh, was that Living in America?
Oh, is that what that? I can't remember.
I feel like that was. Oh boy, those Eternals things, they showed up dead on arrival.
Oh, Jess, here's another artist I want to have your opinion on. What's your opinion of Bruce Springsteen?
I've seen him twice. Loved him both times. I stopped buying his albums probably around 1990. So I haven't listened to anything he's written in 30 years. Excuse me, but he was great when I saw him in 85, and then I feel like I saw him again in like maybe 2005. He's great in concert, and I loved all his early records. Loved all his early records. I haven't listened to anything recently.
He's somebody I don't like dislike, but I just can't like get super into him. I don't know what it. I don't know what it is. I don't dislike him at all. I just never really go out of my way to listen to him on the radio or look him up on iTunes. But I was just curious what your thoughts. Since we're talking about bands and musicians, and I was wondering what you thought.
I loved him in college. I remember. Did you know about the Time Newsweek thing? You're way too young to know about that.
Maybe start talking about it. Maybe I'll.
It was when I was in high school, and Time and Newsweek, back when there were things called magazines that everybody would get. Like my house, you got Time, Life, TV Guide, Reader's Digest. Those were the main. Time got there every Tuesday, and it was a must read. And they had a battle going with Newsweek. They were both news weeklies. And Time, and it was like, if you made the cover of Time, it was a big deal. And if you made the cover of Newsweek, was it a big deal? You're not selling as much as Time. I feel like it was 1975, and nobody had heard of this guy. They both put Bruce Springsteen on their cover the same week and wrote articles. This was back when Born to Run had just been released and nobody even knew about it. And they both put him on the cover, and everybody just couldn't even believe it because it was such a weird coincidence that they would both do that. And that's when Bruce Springsteen came to the national consciousness. That's how he got sort of discovered, I guess, by people in California anyway, and not in New Jersey. But they both put him on the cover, and we were like, who the F is Bruce Springsteen, and why is he on both magazine covers? So I immediately went to whatever record store was near me and got Born to Run and started listening to it. And the two guys that worked there behind me, I think I was 16, the two guys behind me said, "Hey, did you listen to this Born to Run album?" And he's like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Yeah, I really didn't dig it." And the guy's like, "Yeah, I'm not into it. I don't know about this Springsteen thing. I just don't know."
Maybe
so
I'm not. Maybe I'm not enough of an everyman. Isn't he the everyman's musician?
He used to be anyway.
Until he became not the everyman.
Oh, well, I have a signed cover. Wait a sec. Whoop. Having technological issues, Bunkmaster. Okay, so I worked at Tower Records for about a minute in Los Angeles in 1986. And it was the Tower Records on Sunset. And every day we would get big stars coming in there to buy either cassettes or albums or CDs. One day Springsteen came in there and he had the cassette tape place was separate next to the record place. It was part of the store, but he brought up about 45 cassettes that he was going to buy, and people started going, "It's Bruce Springsteen." And I got this signed by him.
Whoa.
If you can see, he did not understand my name was Jess. I said, could you please make it out to Jess? And he goes,
Sass?
He goes, Jazz? And I go, Jess. He had already written Jazz.
That's even better.
He said it was too Jazz. And I said, my name's spelled J-E-S. And he goes, oh, sorry, little brother. And he wrote E there. And so it's too Jazz, Bruce Springsteen.
Little brother. Is he even that much older than you?
That's a good question. I think he calls everybody brother and little brother.
Maybe he's like in his 70s. I guess I didn't think he was that old.
Little brother.
That's funny.
Jazz.
Who's named Jazz?
I don't know. How did he think it was Jazz? Had he never heard the name Jess? I mean, it's not that common of a name, but he looked at me and went, "What? Jess?"
Well, that's like I was at a pastor's conference with my friend. We met a guy named Darren, and my friend was like, Farron? I'm like, when have you ever heard someone called Farron? And he's like, oh, I know a lot of people named Farron. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, their last name. I said, yeah, that was his first name, though. No one's first name is Farron. And then we were at that pastor's conference again a couple months later. We met a guy named Matt, and my friend thought his name was Pat. And he goes, no, the guy got his own name wrong. He goes, yeah, my name's Pat. Matt. It's like, you don't even know your own name. Something about that pastor's conference, people don't even know their own names there. I just thought it was so funny. Farron, no one's named Farron. And no one's named Jazz.
Jazz. Please, somebody in the chat tell me your name is Jazz, and I can give you this album instead.
Please tell me you know someone named Farron or Jazz. Because I want to meet them.
What's a magazine? Yeah, exactly. Jake doesn't know Jack. He's like 24. Drive is a good soundtrack. Yeah. Assaulted by Love by Pat Benatar. Yeah. Lindsay Buckingham sings a song about the most revered Marvel miniseries of all time, Trouble. Judgment Day. Wait, what's happening here? LOL, just as next question for Taylor. Remember when Sears started having actual stores?
I remember Sears, but it's been gone for a while.
Yeah.
Remember the Sears catalog?
Oh, that used to come to our house. Yeah.
Jas Farron, Private Eye. Hey, that's pretty good.
Where's that? Oh my gosh. There it is.
942. That's like what was on Calvin and Hobbes? What was his Private Eye name?
Oh yeah, Cycle will remember that.
Hold on, I love Calvin and Hobbes. I can't wait to read that with Sam.
I met a guy named Rope.
Tracer Bullet.
Tracer Bullet.
Remember what his spaceman's name was?
Spiff.
Yeah, Spaceman Spiff. Spaceman Spiff. You're like Matt.
Biff.
Spaceman Spiff.
Jazz got the sass.
My favorite Calvin and Hobbes gimmick was him doing the snow stuff outside, like creating the big monster that's eating people. I just love that so much.
Like axe murdered snowmen and stuff.
It's such a bummer that Bill Watterson wouldn't let there be like an animated movie or something made. Because I feel like if it's done right, it could be really good. Like the Charlie Brown animated movie they had recently. Did you and Patty watch that?
No, I don't think we did. I think we had trouble getting it. Yeah, we wanted to see that. That's right.
It's on Disney Plus. You should watch it.
Okay.
You and Pat. It's a great capstone to the Charlie Brown story. If it ends there, it's perfect.
Okay.
I think you'd really like it.
He is 73. That is 10 years older than I am. Yeah, Jas Bragg. That's exactly right. Forever Jazz.
N-Man 40 says he knows someone named Farron.
I was summoned because you're talking about Bruce. Okay, Mary. Good. Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, feel free. You can call me Jazz. What's a cassette? Jake, are you even... What's going on with you? Okay. No, John Mellencamp is not the same category as Bruce. Cut it out. I know a Jazz. She's a woman, though. Short for Jess Kieran. I know someone named Jasmine who goes by Jazz. It's kind of Jazz. Yeah, we need a JASS. My name is Sunny, but over the phone, people always hear and call me Sammy. Over the phone, people always call me Jeff. It never is the proper name. And that doesn't bother me. I'm not even tell you what bothers me, because then the chat's going to just start calling me that.
That's like, I'll be like, someone's like on the phone, what's your last name? Brown. How do you spell that? Like the color. It's like saying, how do you spell Smith? It's the most common last name. It's like top 5 for sure.
Omnidog, why is there a leave me alone under your name? It's there really for Marcelo Ramos from Mexico. He thinks it's funny. I put it there one time because I just want people to leave me alone, even though I'm online and I'm engaging with people. And Marcelo cracks up over it, so I just leave it there. I know sisters, and one is named Farron and the other Lake. I remember cigarette vending machines. Yeah. Just to be contrarian, the only 2 songs I like by Springsteen, I Am on Fire and Hungry Hearts. The best songs by him is by Manfred Mann's Earth Band. I think they actually covered 2 of his songs, right? They covered Blinded by the Light, and which I think he might have written for them. And then they covered a song that he wrote for Greg Kihn, and I can't think of the name of it because I just heard it on the radio. It was a really interesting take. I know I need to do this. I know you're right. I should write it down. Hang on one sec, because I don't remember anything once I leave this area. 5, what is it again? 5 most important comics. 5 most.
Yeah, 5. I'm sure it'll be like 13.
Yeah, knowing me.
27. Most.
I have a commission of Calvin and Hobbes Running from Snow Monsters, drawn by Matthew Allison.
I don't know who Matthew Allison is, but it sounds cool.
Okay, yeah. I used to clip the Calvin. Yeah, I used to clip them too and put them on the fridge. No, we're not talking about spin doctors. Larry's already in bed and can't defend them. I think you mean Robert De Niro. Unless Al Pacino's also having a child.
They both are.
They both are?
Well, Al Pacino I think he got his girlfriend pregnant now, and Robert De Niro just had a kid again. I mean, are they both? Here's the thing. Do we actually think these guys are taking care of these kids? Like, they have no.
The kid won't even remember him. Holy smoke. I think that is incredibly selfish, and you're trying to prove you're still a man.
Or, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, you're trying to prove something to the world. Like, I can still do it.
I just view it as it's not really my business. Like, it's like, whatever.
Not your business. Come on, you're an internet influencer.
I just get, when people get up in arms about like a celebrity's personal life, it's like, how does that even affect you? Like, why do you care? If it was somebody you saw like at the supermarket, you wouldn't care.
Well, that's true. Josh, love these streams, Jeff. People never spell your last name. Don't you just go Great House? I've been called Brian Landers many times. This I believe. Jeff suits you like an alter ego for bad, Jess.
I have like 5 more minutes, by the way.
Okay, 5-minute warning because Matthew just showed up. He shows up when there's 5 minutes late left in the chat.
That's when we know. That's when I say that usually. Gosh, some of the comments.
We pick up at the work. I will give somebody in the public name. They think I said Jeff. Okay.
Although, yeah, Doc Collector brings up Nick Cannon. That is something that's crazy.
Doesn't he have like 12 kids?
He has like 11 kids to 6 different women. That's where it's like, how do you even keep, like, okay, I've known people who have a lot of kids, like 8 kids. And I'm like, that's a lot of kids to keep track of. But usually it's with one person. Having 11 kids with 6 different women, how do you keep up with all of them? it's like it's impossible like to know all of them really well, and it's like how's that even work? That's just like a lot of effort.
I don't even know what to say about this one. And is this true? Rod Stewart just had a child in his 90s? What?
Again, it's not my business. It's just, I mean, I'm trying to understand the mechanics of 11 or 12 kids with 6 different people. And trying to keep up with it and trying to spend. I just having 2 kids is already a lot. And it's like, I can't imagine having 12 kids.
Okay. This is where your heart of gold shines through, because you're thinking that Nick Cannon actually pays attention to those kids.
I'm not saying, again, it's not my business if he does or not. I'm just more saying I'm just interested in the mechanics of how could that possibly work in a way that he could see everybody. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he does. I have no idea.
Right.
I just find it interesting.
Right. Al Pacino's girlfriend is 29. Okay. Al Pacino's 83. I am so getting a young girlfriend. Extremely. My story about Bruce's sweat rag got skipped. Sorry, dude. Post it again. Nick Cannon's up to 12. Pity Ma says, who cares if you can afford them? To me, they're just not going to have a father. I don't think it's fair to the kids. And the show ends today. Jess will leave and Jeff will take over.
Yeah, Jas and Farron are going to take over.
Jas and Farron. Whoa. My grandfather was the youngest of 25 kids. First wife died after 16. My great-grandpa was 65 when my grandpa was born. Peace and love to your great-grandpa and your grandpa. 25 kids. Do you know how many diapers that family changed? Unbelievable. That's like 100,000 diapers. And I'm not even kidding on that. Ages 0 through 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. That's 4 years. You change a diaper 3 times a day, at least, let's say 4 times a day. 4, I've already lost the math. 3 times 4 is 12 diapers. Okay, wait. Okay, I don't know. It equals 100,000 though. Oh, Bob Marley had a lot of kids. My dad had a family. Yeah, no, upper level management is upstairs getting ready for bed, I think. Then we get some biblical references. My mom was in love with Bruce Springsteen, and after one of his concerts, she waited out by his car, and she got to meet him, and he gave her his sweat rag that she kept till this day.
Well, Psycho Cleveland, speaking of Isaac's mother, I have always liked how the Bible described Abraham when he had Isaac. He was as good as dead. That's a great, because he was 100 years old. So as good as dead, it's a pretty good description.
Wow.
I always laugh at that when I read that.
Oh, not all the kids lived and, farm. Okay. Hey, Cage. How many brothers and sisters do you have? Did you have? I do have a sister 12 years older and a brother 14 years older. They are still here. And yes, I was the oops. I have no problem saying I was the oops, but I did find out recently that my sister told me she and my brother were extremely embarrassed whenever they got dropped off at school by my pregnant mother, who was 42 at the time. They were extremely embarrassed to find that everybody knew my parents still did it at that age. So they were highly, highly embarrassed by it.
This is a pretty unfiltered chat.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, I didn't know that. That's a great fact. No, they're both my sister's a big book writer. She writes a lot of books and still edits books at age 64 plus 12. She's 76. My brother's 78. And He's written a couple of books, but my sister has written a lot of books.
What kind of books?
She has written everything from cookbooks to novels. 42. That's like, 42 is the new 90, according to Al Pacino and Rod Stewart. How many kids did Methuselah have, Minister?
I'm trying to remember. I don't know. I'd look it up. The genealogies of the Bible can be hard to remember. There's a lot of them, and some of them are difficult. I remember the genealogies of Jesus a little bit easier sometimes, but he's a part of that, but still.
So we only have a few more minutes left. 5 minutes till it's 10 o'clock. That's a good time. Do you have anything you would recommend reading to the chat or to me that you haven't mentioned? Ooh,
hold on, let me grab some.
El Grandioso Oops Jazz.
I'll grab some.
Okay, he's gonna get a recommendation. And I need to read this book. This is high on my list. Lou recommended this to me, and I need to read this. Whoops, I didn't mean for the minister to see that.
I really like The Lion and the Eagle by Garth Ennis.
Yes.
Did you read that?
I own it, but I haven't.
It's a really interesting theater of war where they're in Burma, and it's a British and Indian special forces unit called the Chindits who go behind the Japanese lines, and they try to keep them from invading Burma. And was it Burma? And they're trying to keep them from invading. I can't remember. I read it like a month ago. I'm trying to remember all the details. But I really like World War II, and I found this a very interesting and different take, and just exploring a part of the war that we don't hear very much about. Like, I would love to see, I don't know if Garth Ennis has done stuff in the African theater. That's a very interesting theater of war we don't hear talked about too much. Mm-hmm. This other book is really good, Space Age by Mark Russell. Did you read this yet?
I gotta read that.
How have you not read it yet?
I don't know. Because I don't know. I don't know. I have no excuse. I'm a bad person.
It's kind of like the DC Superman version of Life Story, where it's Superman aging in real time.
Right. Bunkmaster was just telling me about how great it is.
I could see some people kind of not loving the ending, but I thought it was a really interesting ending. I won't say anything more about that.
I'm going to try and read that tomorrow, along with Do a Power Bomb. Jazz. I think that one's going to stick.
So that book was really good. I think it's probably one of my books of the year so far. I haven't really had a lot of books of the year yet. I feel like I've read decent books, but not a ton that were like, oh my gosh, that's book of the year material. You've read this already, but Failsafe, really, really good.
Yeah, I liked it so much I continued as far as it went on the DC app. It went great places.
I don't know if this is really much, like I think everybody's already reading this already, so it's not an unappreciated gem, but it's one that I've liked recently. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I'm missing on my stack. I have a ton of stacks right here.
Jess hasn't read the book DC made literally for him specifically. Yeah, with Mark Russell and Mike Allred.
It is interesting to me you haven't read that. I can't believe you haven't read that yet.
I don't really have an excuse. It just hasn't happened yet.
Ooh, another book of the year for me, because it was the most fun I've had with a comic, is Savage Avengers Omnibus.
Oh, yes.
That was really, really... Did you get the Omni, or did you just stay with the trades?
I got the Omni, and I'm going to give the trades away.
Which did you get, the DM or the regular?
I think I got the DM... No, I got the regular.
Yeah, I didn't love the variant cover. I thought the DM was really cool. That run, it's mostly about Conan. Conan's definitely the main character. I feel like he's the only really consistent one throughout it. Like Wolverine and Elektra and other people pop up throughout it, but I feel like it's really a Conan book at its core. Did you feel that way too?
I did, and I thought it used him really well, working with the other characters.
It's definitely like the most violent in continuity book I've ever read in Marvel.
100%.
Like, the Punisher Max stuff is different, but I feel like it was just like, I don't know how many people were decapitated, how many limbs were severed from human bodies. I think that's the most fun I've had with a book. And I think Space Age made me think a lot. It was a lot of great lines, a lot of great moments. It's kind of like a Justice League book, though, because there's a lot of Batman stuff in there, a lot of Justice League material in there. So it definitely is a Superman book, but it's almost kind of like a JLA type of thing as well. It kind of reminded me of New Frontier a lot. So I mean, that's not something you would like.
That's interesting. I didn't really think of that comparison. Cycle. That's why I was pounding the table so hard for everybody to buy it, because it's not going to get reprinted anytime soon.
Ever.
That's why I wanted people to really, really buy it.
And that's the hard thing I had with that book, because I kind of had to go in with faith that I would like it, because you can't read it on Hoopla, and you can't read it on Marvel Unlimited. You kind of have to you have to buy it, or you can't read it, or read it unless you want to be a pirate. You can read it legally too, but you know what I mean. To read it legally and minister approved, you have to buy it. So Rodimus thinks it's still in print, but Organic Price Books has some. Where is that? You mean this place? Great way to end it. Good transition.
Yeah, man. And it's been 2 hours. So thank you to the minister. It's been a long time since we've seen each other, but it's been a great show. Love seeing you. And the chat has been great. I think I'm forever Jazz now, which is totally fine with me, since Bruce Springsteen thought I was Jazz. Peace and love to the chat. Thank you very much. Peace and love to everybody watching this afterwards. Peace and love to Taylor, who is a very close friend of mine. And Elon says it best. Good night, everyone. Oh, LPB still has that. And paz y amor a todos. Thank you. Thank you. And I will now play us out with our song that actually really rocks hard. I never really heard it in headphones before because I broke my mic. But Nate really rocks hard in our Baturdays song. Let's listen to it.
Baturdays, Baturdays. Omnidog and the Minister of Comics talk forever, get right your ergonomics. Taking questions from the chat with a name like that, you think they talk more about the